Jai Gurudev children. Today I am going to continue with my chapter, that is life process, lesson number 6, biology. That day in our Google Meet I explained the topic nutrition in human being. But as I told, that topic is very important and I have given that time the book reading and the some outline map of that topic. Now today point-wise explanation along with the diagram I am going to do. This topic is very important and from this topic assertion and result based question can be asked. There remains always a question based on this topic either for 1 mark, 3 marks or 5 marks. So here we go with the topic nutrition in human being. Now we start with the alimentary canal is the longest tube extremely from mouth till the anus. The alimentary canal, it starts from mouth and it remains ending till the anus. It is the largest canal of our body. Then next is the inner lining of the mouth is smooth and when we choose something, the food get fatty and it is due to the mixing of saliva from salivary gland. Then the food is broken into smaller particles with the help of biocatalyst called enzymes. So what is the enzyme of here of saliva? Salivary amylase. Salivary amylase, it reacts on the starch part of the food and it breaks down the food into the starchy part of the food into smaller particles. So saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. You should be very careful regarding the spelling. AMYLASE, amylase. What is the function of salivary amylase? It breaks down the starch to sugar. What is the conversion of starch remains? The starch which is broken down by the salivary amylase it results into sugar. Then there comes as the tongue. What is the role of tongue? So very clearly speaking, the simple function given to tongue. The tongue, it receives saliva and it very thoroughly mix up the saliva into the food to make the food sticky and it converts the food into small sticky ball so as to swallow down the food easily through the pipe that is called as a esophagus or food pipe. Here we see the same line. Muscular tongue helps to mix the saliva and thoroughly into the food. Then the food moves in a regulated manner so that it can be proceeded in each part of canal. It can be proceeded in each part of the canal. Means which canal I am speaking? I am speaking from the mouth, this alimentary canal which starts and it remains retained till the anus. So each part the food moves in a very thorough way and it is taken care that the food should move thoroughly to each part of the organ so that each part can very well play their role so as to complete the process of digestion till the anus. Now the lining of canal has mucus, the muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. This is called peristaltic movement. See the spelling? Peristaltic. Peristaltic movement. If you will swallow down some spit, just you swallow down your spit, you will find some up and down movement of in your throat. So what is that? This up and down movement of our food pipe is just nothing but the peristaltic movement. Because of this movement, the food is pushed forward, and there is a cover also on the food pipe, so that when many a times we take food, many a times we find some hiccups or some jerks which we call as ठसका लगना और हिचकी आना while taking food or something. We find when we take food very hurriedly, sometimes we find there is jerks, jerks, ठसका लगना. So what is there in a hurry? Many a times when the food enters into the air pipe. So what is there? Air pipe do not accept that food, and thus it repels the food out. Hence that is the reason we get jerks when the food enters. And the same sensation, a strong sensation, we receive in our brain. So this is what I told as food pipe have given a cover. In NCERT book they did not given the opening of food pipe, given at the cover. When the food enters, it opens and the food moves very thoroughly from each part of alimentary canal, and the food move forward because of the movement that is called as a peristaltic movement. Then here is the next point, that is now the food move from the mouth. We have seen that starch part of the food. You would be surprised to know that, as I have told in my lecture also, like 50% of digestion of food completes in mouth itself. So when the food move from the mouth after digestion, it enters to the stomach. How you will define stomach? The stomach is a small bag-like structure, and it is the terminating part of the food pipe, the end of the part of the food pipe result into the bag-like structure, that is stomach. Getting me? And the stomach through the food pipe or esophagus, means the end part of the food pipe or esophagus is connected to a bag-like structure, that is stomach. Now stomach is a large bag-like organ. It is connected with the terminating part of the food pipe. As I told already, the last end of the food pipe is connected with the stomach. Now here food receives the role of stomach. See, automatically you will find what is the function of stomach from this. The food receives in stomach. Food receives the mixing of digestive juices. What is the word I am using? Digestive juices. Now, digestion of food is taken care of by the gastric glands. In stomach, the gastric glands, they take care about the digestion of food inside. So, they add some secretions which are helpful in digestion of food. So, the gastric glands, and they are present to the lining, to the wall of stomach. As you people see, I have drawn it already, to the wall of stomach. These gastric glands, they are adhered to the wall of the stomach. Okay. Then what are those gastric glands, the juices or the digestive juices which the stomach receives? That is, first is HCl, another is pepsin, and next is mucus. The gastric glands, it secretes three juices. They are HCl, hydrochloric acid, pepsin. Hydrochloric acid is actually, its function is to make the food unintoxicating, or to kill all the harmful microbes which enter with the food. If any harmful microbe enter with the food, it kills it. And another function of it is to activate to pepsin. What is pepsin? Pepsin is a protein digestive enzyme. In simple language we will say pepsin is an enzyme which digests protein. Pepsin is an enzyme which its function is to digest protein. And actually initially pepsin remains in a sleeping condition. Initially protein, when there is no food, it remains in a sleeping condition. But the moment when food is received, HCl, it activates to pepsin. It makes it to get up and This is what the function of, one more function of HCl is. Then when the pepsin is activated, pro-activated, it reached to the action, the world of action, then what is there? It start digesting protein. It start digesting protein. Then there comes as a mucus. What is the role of mucus? Role of mucus is to protect the inner lining of the stomach. It protects the inner lining of stomach from the harmful action of HCl. If suppose, how the HCl can be harmful? Already, as you know, HCl is an acid. Getting me? If there is no food, then what is there? The secretion of HCl remains in its order. So if there is no food, then there is no mixing of HCl, then it can harm to the lining of stomach. Hence, this mucus, it provides a greasy surface to the lining of stomach to protect the lining of stomach from the harmful effect of HCl. Now, here I have given already role of I am going to read it out, same thing which I have explained here. Role of HCl in stomach, it creates an acidic medium. How the food can be acidic? Because HCl mixing of being HCl is acidic, is an acid, so food will be acidic. So the medium inside the stomach would be acidic. Then it creates an acidic medium which activates pepsin. The creation of acidic medium in the stomach is actually to make active to pepsin. Then what is pepsin? It is a protein digesting enzyme. Then what is the function of function of HCl? I have told already, again I am reading it out. It kills the harmful microorganism which enters with the food. Even the too long gap between, see, many a times the secretion of HCl can result into acidity. How? When there is a too long gap between two meals. Suppose you are, as it is medically suggested that we must have to take 4 meals in a small gap. So if suppose there is a long gap between 2 meals, then what is there? It can result into acidity in our body, in our stomach. So many a times we complain about stomach pain or some ache in the heart also. So that is just nothing but because of the acidity, increasing hydrochloric acid in our stomach. So the too long gap between 2 meals results into the problems of acidity. So many a times the acidity problem is because of the secretion of HCl. Now, role of mucus I am reading. I have told already, it protects the inner lining of stomach from the action of acid under normal condition. Under normal conditions means when there is no food, or suppose the intake of food is very less, secretion of HCl would be as it is, then what would be the rest HCl will do? It will try to disturb the lining of stomach. So who protects the stomach? That mucus. Now the food is transferred, digestion of food is done at a partial rate in the stomach. Getting me? Protein part be digested. Okay, starch is digested in mouth. Protein is in stomach. Now, the food is transferred. The food is transferred from stomach to the small intestine. And when the food is transferred from stomach to the small intestine, there is an opening which is controlled by the muscle that is called as a sphincter muscle. Spelling is SPHINTER and the pronunciation is sphincter muscle, and the food is transferred in a small amount to from stomach to the small intestine. Now the small intestine, though we call it as a small intestine, but it is the largest part of the alimentary canal. It is prepared into a compact space and highly coiled. Then actually here I have given one differentiation. You would be surprised to know that the small intestine, the size of small intestine varies in varies animal to animal. The carnivorous animals, they have a smaller small intestine, whereas the carnivores, they have the longer small intestine. The herbivores, they have the longer small intestine, whereas the carnivores, because meat, which is the food of these carnivores, is easy to digest. Hence, the size of small intestine in carnivores remains small, whereas the size of the small intestine is longer in the herbivores, because grass or the cellulose, it takes long time to get digested. Now, a small intestine, about small intestine we will read out. So, small intestine in one line, if it is defined, so it is the site for complete digestion of food. That is, what is that? Carbohydrates, protein and fats. If suppose protein, it means protein is, as I told in stomach, protein is digested, but it is digested partially. The complete digestion would be done in small intestine, and carbohydrates, they get digested in small intestine only. Then the fats, so these three all get the complete digestion of these all three components of food is complete in small intestine. Now, small intestine, about that, what is peculiar about it? See, stomach, I told, it receives the juice from the gastric gland, that is HCl, pepsin and mucus. Now, small intestine also, it receives the juices from the liver and pancreas. So, pancreas, it secretes the pancreatic juice. And but one thing about the pancreas, that is, pancreas do not activate in the acidic medium. The food which is received from stomach is in acidic form. So, the medium is made as alkaline. The medium is made as alkaline. Then the pancreatic juice start activating. Then the reaching acidic, the food which is reached from the stomach is acidic first of all. It is converted into the alkaline medium because of the food, the action of HCl on food. The food which we receive from stomach is acidic, hence first it would be converted into alkaline medium. So then the pancreatic juice will start. Then the bile juice. Bile juice is secreted from the liver, and bile juice is useful to digest the fats. Jai Guru.